telling all Flock members, if you want to become truly elite, for just $1 a month, you too can become an elite bad bird. Check out my Patreon account. Link is in the description.
Hi there, and welcome back, my Flock and EBB members. The Bad Raven is here, and we're ready to do a review today. This is going to be a joint review, I guess you could say. The Bad Raven has joined up with the Movie Freak 2000 to do a review of the series of movies that came out in the 80s, which is A Nightmare on Elm Street collection. I have done an unboxing of this collection before. It's the DVD ones together. You can see the part up here, here of the different stuff. But I'm going to do part one of this with the Movie Freak, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Yes, Nightmare on Elm Street. The classic, the 1984 classic, starring Robert Englund as the great menacing icon of horror and to himself, Freddy Krueger. This is when he was introduced to the 80s crowd, to the 80s group, to the teenagers of my day, and we were witnessing a new incarnation of evil. So Robert Englund was mostly known for comedies and just secondary characters in his career up to this point. And when he got this role as Freddy Krueger, so this was a very big departure from him. Nobody was really expecting him to be a great, iconic, which he turned out to be, iconic mass murderer in movies, serial killer, whatever you say. So this was a really big step for him into stardom, and he never probably would have expected it, that this movie would be what took him to the next level. Because he probably just took it to make ends meet and tried something different, to break out of his mode of the good guy character. But anyway, like I said, this was made in 1984. I remember this movie coming out. I'll upfront tell you, I am not the biggest Nightmare on Elm Street fan, and I've told the Movie Freak 2000 this also. If you don't know who the Movie Freak 2000 is, I'll leave a link in the description and bottom there to show you his YouTube channel. He does great reviews, and him and Drew Drop go to school together. Likes horror. He likes all types of different movies. He likes action. He likes them all, just like the movie, like the Bad Raven does. I met him through Drew Drop, and he's a great guy. And check out his channel and subscribe to his channel. He's a good fella. But anyway, he wanted to do these reviews together, so I told him he could do his review. He's going to do the review of Nightmare on Elm Street also. So this is my return review back to him. But like I was saying, I'm not a big Nightmare on Elm Street lover, so it was kind of hard for me to start these reviews without the prodding of Movie Freak 2000 to do them, because I like just a few of the actual movies. I like this one, part 1, I like part 3. The others, I don't know, and I haven't even watched the last one. So, you gotta bear with me here. But this one I really enjoyed back in the 80s. It built off fear that everybody has, bad dreams of dying in your dream, having somebody chase you. You have those dreams where you're like running and like pudding or something, you can't get nowhere, and the creature's always getting closer and closer. So it really awoken a lot of fears in me as a teenager, as a young adult, of all the fears out there during your dreams, because it brought them all out. And this one, out of all the movies that came after it, was the more horrific type feeling for me. You had, of course, you always have the blood, and you always have the death and stuff, but it was more creative, inventive for me, I think, than the latter ones. And Freddy, was always his wisecracking self, but he got worse and worse with the wisecracks, kind of like Chucky later on in the sequels. But let me just dive right into it. Like I said, it came out in 1984. And we know, I told you who Freddy Krueger is, as no man could play Freddy Krueger but him, the Robert Englund. You have a very, very young Johnny Depp in this movie. My niece Chloe watched this long back, and she didn't even know who he was. And I said, that's Johnny Depp, and it freaked her out because he is very young, green actor in this movie. And of course, Wes Craven directed this, the great Wes Craven, who done Scream, and he done the Nightmare stuff. He's done all type of different horror genres. He's done regular movies too, but he's basically known for his horror. He has passed away, unfortunately, but he was the mastermind behind the directing of this movie. But like I said, Johnny Depp's in it. He plays Glenn. You got Amanda Weiss as Tina Gray. Heather Langenkamp plays Nancy. You got John Saxon as Lieutenant Thompson, which is Nancy's dad in the movie. So that's like your basic cast, the ones you need to know about. And Freddy is, if you've not watched him, there's going to be spoilers in this. Freddy is a very unlikable character, which serial killers are, but he is one of the lowest of the low. Of course, Jason kills anybody. He kills the mentally challenged. He kills because he is mentally challenged. He kills handicapped, like in part 2, with a guy in a wheelchair. He kills women. He kills men. He kills about pretty much anybody. He's just an equal opportunity killer. Well, with Freddy, he's a child molester, and you find this out in the movie. Throughout the movie, you find out that the parents of Elm Street have killed the character Freddy in real life because he was molesting their children on Elm Street, and he got off without going to jail by technicality. So the parents get together, do their own social justice, and burn him in his house, which hence gives him the burnt face and body of Freddy throughout the actual sequels. So that is his whole being. How he becomes a dream, how he gets put in their dreams, I have no idea. But it's supposed to be like payback to the parents, that he's going to kill all the children of the parents that burned him alive. That is the premise of the movie. You find out throughout the movie that's why he's invading certain kids' dreams in Elm Street. That alone, with the child molesting thing at the very top of the list, is pretty rough going, even for a horror film, and that's why it's horrific. I understand that's why it's horrific, but that takes it to another line with me. I enjoy the movies for what they are. They're just horror movies, just the slasher films that has that as a premise. But later on in the actual sequels, they kind of try to make Freddy cooler, but you still got to know this is his basic reason for his death and his killing is because of molesting and killing children on top of that. I don't know if that plays a part of me not liking the entire thing, but in all movies you got killers that are unlikable, of course. But besides that point, that is the underlying theme of this movie. And they talk about dreams, which I like the dream part of it more than worrying about that part of his character. Is the dreams, they are trying to turn their dreams around so they can fight Freddy and bring him out into the real world. Heather Langenkamp, who plays Nancy, figures out if she's holding him, because she had, in one part, she's grabbed him and she brings a piece of his sweater out with her when she wakes up, because she's holding it during the dream when they wake her up. She figures if she can grab a hold of Freddy, she can, and somebody wakes her up, she can bring him out in the real world, then they can kill him outright, I guess. I don't know why killing him twice would help, because it didn't hurt him the first time when he got burned alive. That is kind of cool, the way they do that. The way they bring that element into the movie is it's really cool. I like the way they did that, and I like even Johnny Depp's character of Glenn suggested earlier that if you're in a dream and you want to take the power away from the creature, you have to turn your back on it and just walk away and let the creature you just take off its power. And that's alluded to later on in the actual this movie and later movies of a way of destroying him. But he always comes back, of course. You make money, you got to come back. But when I was a kid, or growing up, my similar way of fighting things in my dreams, I would always go at it. Like if there was a creature in my dream and I was scared, I would get really determined, and I would go into that room. Like there was something in that room and I didn't want to go into. I was scared in my dream. I would just bust down the door and I would go in and face the thing and grab it and just go hog wild and going towards this creature. And that would get rid of the dream. I'd wake up because I'd be breathing really wild and snorting through my nose, and I'd wake up. And I even did this later on in life. I always face whatever it is in my dream that brings me out. So that was cool. Both of those two type things together. It was neat the way they did that. I love the makeup for Freddy on this one. It was more elaborate than in the other ones. I know he spent a lot of time in the makeup chair when they did this one because it was new. He looked even more burnt than he does later on in the things. He looks more realistic. If you could go even more realistic with a nightmare killing you. I liked the performances by all the characters. It was true 80s slasher fun. That's why I like this movie. It didn't take itself seriously. It was just all out, this is real. This could really happen. You can get killed in your dreams. There can be a killer in your dreams. And I thought that was a unique ideal, and they did it to a T, and Wes Craven should be commended on his directorial ways he did in this movie, because he nailed it on the head. He knocked it out of the park. Any more other cliches I can put, he did a great job on this. So that's why I love this movie. I hope if you want to watch it, I hope I haven't destroyed it, because I told you pretty much all the premise of everything. But it's a great movie, and I'm going to throw it back to Movie Freak to do Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. This will be my first one, and I'll do the second one after his. But we just want you to join in with our reviews and watch both of ours and see what you think of both. We're kind of see what we both think of each other's reviews. I just wanted to say I appreciate everybody watching my channel. We got a PayPal over here in the corner. Then if you want to donate to the Bad Raven, it would be greatly appreciated. Me and Drew Drop really need help in the funding department. If you can, I would appreciate it. We also got a Patreon account over here. Just for $1 a month, we will send you a band that support the Bad Raven. Watch the Bad Raven on YouTube. You get your name put at the end of every video, and I'll speak your name and tell you are a member of the Elite Bad Birds. And just check us out. We would greatly appreciate it. And always remember, the Bad Raven is your friend, and we're always looking out for you. And please come back and subscribe and share this video with your friends. So I'm going to let you go, and I'll talk at you later, and see you in Part 2. Bye.
The Bad Raven would like to thank the very first Elite Bad Birds member, the New York Dragon. Join him and support the Bad Raven channel.